Where to begin? How about with a simple observation? The President of the United States is a racist. It went on to say he's a liar. Is this a shift in how media outlets are reporting on Trump?
You have seen hesitation in the past for major mainstream news organizations hesitating to call outright Donald Trump a racist. At this point in the presidency, after a contentious campaign, judging from Donald Trump's lifelong host of statements, the fact pattern is there. The definition of a racist is someone who makes judgment calls based on ethnicity or race, and that is what Donald Trump's reported comments from this meeting this week with Hill leaders represented.
Good evening. The President of the United States is tired of so many black people coming to this country, tired of immigrants from Haiti and Africa being allowed in. Quote, why are we having all these people from shithole countries come here, the president said today at the White House. His comments reported first by the Washington Post, confirmed by CNN, and amazingly not denied by the president or the people around him. Tired of Africans and Haitians, the president went on to say he would like to bring more people from countries like Norway, whose population is overwhelmingly of Nordic descent, white people in other words. James Baldwin, the great writer, the great American, once said that, quote, ignorance allied with power is the most ferocious enemy justice can have. Ignorance allied with power. For the President of the United States to believe that Haitians have not contributed extraordinary things to American society, that is ignorant. For him to claim that all the countries of Africa are shitholes is woefully ignorant. But as disturbing as you may think these sentiments are, these comments by the president, they are actually not anything new. 3 weeks ago, the New York Times reported something else the president said about Haitians in another meeting at the White House. About Haitians, he reportedly said they, quote, all have AIDS, and said that Nigerians, quote, live in huts. Now, the White House denied he said those things at the time 3 weeks ago. They are not denying he said the comments today, which were spoken in a room with bipartisan lawmakers. Perhaps the White House feels the president's remarks will be well received in some parts of this country, among some parts of the president's base. And perhaps that is true. But it doesn't make what he said any less ignorant or any less racist.
But why are we surprised? I mean, why is this breaking news? I mean, if we go back in history, this is the same man who was sued by the Department of Justice and used to put a little C on black people's applications for color. Why are we surprised? This is the same person who was sued by African American and minority dealers in his casino. Why are we surprised? This is the same man who still has not apologized for the Central Park 5. I mean, down here in South Carolina, we look out and throw our hands up to black folk and say, we have tried to tell you this is who this man was. It's not as if he is just showing you his heart today.
If you are saying he can't do his job because of his race, is that not the definition of racism?
No, I don't think so at all.
No?
No, he's proud of his heritage. I respect him for that.
But you're saying he can't do his job because of it.
Look, he's proud of his heritage, okay? I'm building a wall. Now, I think I'm going to do very well with Hispanics. He's a legal citizen. You know why I'm going to do well with Hispanics? Because I'm going to bring back jobs, and they're going to get jobs right now. They're going to get jobs. I think I'm going to do very well with Hispanics, but we're building a wall. He's a Mexican. We're building a wall between here and Mexico. The best lawyers, I have spoken to so many lawyers, they said, this is not a case. This is a case that should have ended. This judge is giving us unfair rulings. Now I say why. Well, I'm building a wall, okay? And it's a wall between Mexico, not another country.
But he's not from Mexico.
In my opinion,
he's from Indiana.
He's Mexican heritage, and he's very proud of it.
They are not our friend. And these are the best and the finest. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
President Trump strongly suggested he will pardon Arizona Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who faces 6 months in prison for ignoring a judge's order to stop racial profiling during traffic stops targeting undocumented immigrants.
We are also praying for the people of Puerto Rico.
Branding the mayor a poor leader and a politically motivated ingrate. and he said people on the ravaged island want everything done for them. Mayor Cruz said today's meetings were productive, but she told CNN that President Trump spouts things that hurt the people of Puerto Rico.
Thank you very much.
Before departing the White House, the president again said Puerto Ricans need to do more. And once there, he turned to the issue of the cost of recovery.
Now, I hate to tell you, Puerto Rico, but you've thrown our budget a little out of whack because we've spent a lot of money on Puerto Rico.
A series of tweets today, inflammatory videos, one proven false, and the White House saying whether the videos are real or not, it doesn't matter. ABC's chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl.
The president today avoided questions about the extremist videos he retweeted, videos that have provoked an international backlash.
Mr. President, why have you been retweeting anti-Muslim videos?
The 3 videos were originally posted by a tiny anti-Islam ultra-nationalist party called Britain First, a group known for hate-filled incitement. They purport to show Muslims engaged in violent acts. In a blunt statement, the office of British Prime Minister Theresa May, perhaps America's closest ally, condemned the president for his tweets, saying the group Britain First seeks to divide communities through their use of hateful narratives which peddle lies and stoke tensions. It is wrong for the president to have done this. But White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders defended the tweets.
It's important to talk about national security and national security threats.
The White House insists this is about strong borders. One of the videos claims to show a Muslim migrant in the Netherlands beating a Dutch boy. But tonight, the embassy of the Netherlands says that's not true. They say the attacker was actually Dutch, tweeting, "Facts do matter." Still, the White House says it doesn't matter if videos the president tweets are accurate.
Look, again, whether it's a real video, the threat is real, and that is what the president is talking about.
Tonight, KKK leader David Duke tweeted, "Thank God for Trump. That's why we love him."
They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
We're going to move on now to our exclusive interview with Maisha Johnson, the widow of Sergeant LaDavid Johnson, one of 4 Special Forces troops killed in that deadly ambush in Niger. He was laid to rest over the weekend after a final kiss from Maisha, and I sat down with her earlier this morning just before we came on the air. There are also a lot of questions about the phone call you received from President Trump. I know you were in a car to the airport. Tell us what happened next.
Me and my family was in the limo to receive my husband from, I think that was Denver, Dover we went to.
Dover.
And we was literally on the airport strip getting ready to get out. And he called Master Sergeant Neil's phone. I asked Master Sergeant Neil to put his phone on speaker so my aunt and uncle could hear as well. And he goes on to saying his statement as what he said was...
The president.
Yes, the president said that he knew what he signed up for, but it hurts anyways. And it made me cry because I was very angry at the tone of his voice and how he said it. Like he couldn't remember my husband's name. The only way he remembered my husband's name because he told me he had my husband report in front of him. And that's when he actually said, LaDavid. I heard him stumbling on trying to remember my husband's name. And that what hurt me the most, because if my husband is out here fighting for our country and he risks his life for our country, why can't you remember his name?
Facing a bipartisan backlash over his attacks of the family of a slain Muslim U.S. soldier, Donald Trump is not backing down.
Wow, thank you very much.
And neither is the family of Army Captain Humayun Khan, who was awarded a Bronze Star and Purple Heart for helping save fellow soldiers in Iraq by walking toward a car loaded with explosives in 2004.
This is a proof of his ignorance and arrogance. And I again and again ask his advisors to get him in a room, close the door, and set him right
A number of prominent Republicans stepping forward in support of the Khan family, including Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and House Speaker Paul Ryan. Arizona Senator John McCain, who Trump once said was not a war hero because he was captured, issued a lengthy statement denouncing the GOP candidate, writing, "I cannot emphasize enough how deeply I disagree with Mr. Trump's statement. I hope Americans understand that the remarks do not represent the views of the Republican Party, its officers, or candidates."
President Trump may have shocked the nation with his sudden about-face on the neo-Nazis and white supremacists who invaded Charlottesville, Virginia. But many who have actually followed Donald Trump long before he became president say they're not surprised. In fact, his critics claim his stance on racial issues is quite well known, from his birther attacks on President Obama to refusing to accept the innocence of the so-called Central Park Five.
If the state of Hawaii says this is official, he was born in Hawaii on this date, here it is, why do you deny that?
A lot of people do not think it was an authentic certificate.
How can you say that if this...
You won't report it, Wolf, but many people do not think it was authentic.
Donald, you're beginning to sound a little ridiculous, I have to tell you.
I think you are, Wolf.
Do you accept that President Obama was born in the United States,
no,
is not Muslim?
I really don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why he wouldn't release his records. But, you know, honestly, I don't want to get into it. The problem we have is we don't have any protection for the policeman. The problem with our society is that the victim has absolutely no rights and the criminal has unbelievable rights. Unbelievable rights. And I say it has to stop. That's why I took the ad. And I have to tell you, that ad, I've never done anything that's been so positively received. Of course I hate these people. And let's all hate these people, because maybe hate is what we need if we're going to get something done.
Well, the Central Park Five was a group of teenagers, black and Latino, who were wrongly convicted of a brutal 1989 beating and rape of a Central Park jogger. The crime inflamed the city and really the country, and it also prompted Trump to take out an ad in 4 newspapers demanding the state of New York reinstate the death penalty. The real rapist confessed in 2002. To date, President Trump has never apologized for his comments about the case, nor publicly accepted the fact that all 5 men did not commit the crime. So with me now, 2